Good afternoon. It's Thursday, August 29, 2024. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, Rivers NLC protest to Government House as Joe Ajero honors police invitation over terrorism allegation. Agric expert in Rivers State calls for implementation anti-open grazing law. Ethiopian Airlines blames failure to establish Nigeria national carrier on politics. On the foreign scene, UN calls on Israel to stop military operation in West Bank. I'm Ifechi Kumoyele with the news. Now, the police have barricaded Moscow Road, preventing the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress in Rivers State from accessing their headquarters to protest the terrorism allegation against its national president, Joe Ajero. The state leadership of the NLC had earlier taken their protest to the government before moving over to Moscow Road. The protest is expected to occur across the 36 states. Meanwhile, President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, has arrived at the force headquarters for questioning over allegations of terrorism financing, among others. Mr. Ajero was accompanied by his counsel, Femi Falana, Maxwell Opara, and Deji Adeoju, among other lawyers. And now, Chairman of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria in Rivers State, Israel Pepple, says one person died when pirates hijacked a boat that was leaving Kola for Abonima. Mr. Pepple said this when members of the union on Wednesday protested to the state government house over rising piracy on the state's waterways. He, however, did not give details of when the incident happened, but said the victim, a woman, sustained injuries during the hijack and died Wednesday morning. He blamed security agencies for not doing enough.
Just this morning, the incident that occurred at Kola that we lost the lady. Yesterday, a boat coming from Kola to Abonima was shot by this unknown gunmen, and the lady was hit by that bullet. We thought she would have made it by this morning. They said she has given up the ghost. We are sad to inform you that the security agencies are not doing enough to protect lives and property of law-abiding citizens in the state. Rather, they focus their attention mostly on multinational companies and their equipment and workers due to the economic advantage they derive from them.
Mr. Pepple, who read the protest letter, spoke on recent attacks that have occurred this month.
On Thursday, 22nd of August, a boat sailing from Bonny to Port Harcourt was attacked by unknown gunmen and took 5 passengers to an unknown destination. Belay boat was attacked. The attackers went away with the boat and engines with other valuables belonging to the passengers. On the 24th August, workers' boat coming from Bonny to Port Harcourt was also attacked by unknown gunmen. Passengers were taken away, and to date, they are under captivity. Recently, at Tourist Beach Unit, Port Harcourt, we also recorded the captivity of a driver, a deckhand, offered in the boat with 2 police officers on escort. The unknown gunmen are demanding 10 million.
The head of service, George Weke, addressed the protesters.
It's not a protest. It's a civic responsibility that you have observed something and you are reporting it to the appropriate quarters. I want to assure you that this government will not leave any stone unturned to bring security to every person that is in this state. The community policing you hear about, people think that it is for us to form police in the community. No, every person here is a community police. This high level of insecurity, and assure you, the government will do everything within its own powers, with your cooperation, to curb this level of insecurity. This may just give some time.
While the police have yet to speak on this. Meanwhile, about 5 wooden canoes are still blocking the Amadiama creeks, preventing NLNG boats from accessing the Port Harcourt to Bonny route. Members of the Fishermen Association from Amadiama, Kokoama, Tereama, and Marine Base in Port Harcourt City local government area of Rivers State did this in protest. It started on Sunday to demand compensation for the family of a fisherman, Precious Imamibo, who reportedly drowned last year due to the speed of an NLNG boat. One of the fishermen, Albert Paul, spoke on this.
LNG have never come to a table to discuss the matter properly. Now, in the course of we blocking the creek, LNG decided to use police and every other thing to portray us from the protest. LNG have not seen the family to dialogue on this issue. That is why we blocked the river. And since then, we have not heard anything from LNG. They are demanding our rights. And the protest was peaceful. but the police and every other thing come and also we are calling on the state government and the federal government to see need to tell LNG to settle all the demands that we have.
Now, another fisherman, Tamanokuro Nyingi Yikabo, also spoke.
Sunday evening, now we go block us. So Monday they no come back. And now they don't send for some people to talk to them. As they come back, like today, as they come back, they tell us the talk never see their head. And we they block them. All the fishermen association from Amadiama to Erama to Marine Bay to Kokama, we gather together to block them. No, we don't cause trouble. So they don't allow us to go close now. So we only block the river for them not to pass. Yes, only river, not their jetty, only the river. Until they give us positive reply.
Now, away from that, another accident happened near Rumosi Junction, River State, on Wednesday. A hit-and-run driver knocked down a young lady hawking her goods. The incident left the lady unconscious as a crowd gathered around her. Some eyewitnesses narrated the incident to our correspondent.
As the gear they cross, motos with his speed just carry the gear. Him see the block, people rush him, and the motor just escape.
Other people begin to pursue the motor, pursue the motor. The motor not clear. If the man get human sympathy, if you not say the repercussion will come to Lamo, make him.
They come and walk this our road, and it's because of this flyover, everybody is passing one way, and that accident is everywhere.
Now, this is coming 6 days after an accident at Amechi School bus stop along the Obikwere axis of the East-West Road, where a bike collided with a bus door in transit while passengers were alighting from 10 days ago. Another accident happened at Rumosi Slaughter Junction, killing one person with 2 hospitalized. The frequency of these accidents highlights the urgent need for increased road safety measures in these areas. Now, farmers in Ubima and Omerelu communities in Ikwere local government areas of River State are raising alarm over the activities of herders on their farmland. In an interview with our correspondent Emekotoka, some of the farmers said herders bring cattle to graze on their farmland, destroying crops and worsening the economic challenges they already face. They warned that if the issue is not urgently addressed, it could lead to a severe food shortage in the area.
Appealing to the state government to come to the aid of Ubima. These herdsmen, their cows are damaging our crops, which is the only economy of an villager can manage and train their children. We have no any other source to eat.
The whole of our crop now, no way. My wife yesterday went to farm. They pursue her from farm. I don't know whether they will fight us because that is cassava they are killing. That is our own food which we are training our children.
We are begging the federal government to come and help us and remove the cowards on our road. They are fighting us and raping us. You are not free to go to the bush and get what you want for the bush again.
That is the story of our farm. Man, my cassava, they don't decide finish you.
Meanwhile, an agricultural consultant, Charles Okoro, says it is time for the River State government to implement the anti-open grazing law. Engineer Okoro said this during an interview with correspondent Oyeka Chinwosu following report of attacks and destruction of farm produce by herdsmen in parts of the state. Engineer Okoro said the non-implementation of the anti-open grazing law has led to death by some of the farmers who borrowed money to buy crops.
The farmers at the in Eleme, they are complaining seriously because they can't go to their farm again because of the issue of herdsmen and insecurity. If your plant and you are not able to go to the farm to harvest it or carry out all the farming operation within the gestation period, invariably it's a waste. They must implement the anti-open grazing law because so that any policy, both at the state level, at the federal level for intervention in agriculture will work. Instead of a farmer collecting loans and at the end of the day, you will not be able to pay back because you are not able to access the product you have taken loan for.
On the plan to distribute agricultural inputs to farmers in the state, the agri-consultant faulted some of the modalities.
Timing is what is wrong because agricultural season has 2 farming seasons, late farming season and the early farming season. So is this input they are giving is for wet season or the early season, which the early season farming is gone because we will be talking about harvesting from August now. Then the farmers need to know the categories of inputs they are giving them, and that if you are supplying input to a farmer, you have to consider the area of comparative advantage. So you need to give farmers what they will use and there will be high market demand and the soil supports it.
In other news, the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA reports that 175 people have died and over 207,000 people displaced following recent heavy rains and flooding across 28 states. Authorities are urging residents in flood-prone areas to move to safer locations as the rains continue. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has issued warnings about potential floods, prompting state government and NEMA to begin evacuations to prevent further disaster. NEMA Director General Zubaida Umar also announced the activation of the National Emergency Operations Center in response to the ongoing crisis. Now, still to come, Ethiopian Airlines blames failure to establish Nigerian national carrier on politics. Stay with us.
Light up Pawtucket Festival. Over 10,000 youths and music lovers on the 15th of September 2024 by 12 p.m.
Yeah, welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Senator Yemi Adramodu, says the lawmakers would subject the pegging of the age for WAEC and NECO exam 18 to legislative scrutiny, which includes public hearings. Yesterday, the 2023 PDP presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, described the new policy as absurd and a barrier to scholarships. Recall that the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, announced plans to set the age limit for the examination to 18 years. The federal government has urged the National Association of Resident Doctors to end their 7-day warning strike. Minister of State for Health Tunji Alausa made this appeal during a visit to the National Eye Center in Kaduna on Thursday. Dr. Alausa emphasized that negotiations are underway to secure the release of their kidnapped colleague, Dr. Ganiyat Popola, and assured that the government and security agencies are actively working on her rescue. In other news, Ethiopian Airlines Group Chief Executive Officer Mesfin Tasiu has blamed politics for the failure of establishing a national carrier for Nigeria. He said that Ethiopian Airlines had the intention of helping the Nigerian government establish a profitable airline, but the process was politicized by Nigerian Airlines. The partnership to establish Nigeria Air, which was started by the last administration of President Buhari and handled by former Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika, was cancelled by the current Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, saying that the deal was not going to be beneficial to Nigeria. And now in business, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with one of the world's leading aircraft manufacturers, Boeing. In a statement, the Special Advisor on Media and Communications to the Minister, Tunde Moshood, said the agreement includes provision of comprehensive training in airline operations and business modules aimed at improving the business practices and operational efficiency of Nigerian airlines. In entertainment, Nigerian singer Dami Crane has been released from prison after reportedly being arrested and detained over alleged defamation of Davido. In sport, EPL club Bournemouth have signed Chelsea goalkeeper Kepa on loan. Of a UN The head of the UN, Antonio Guterres, has urged Israel to stop its operation in the West Bank, saying it is fueling an already explosive situation. Israel began what it called a counter-terrorism operation in 4 areas of the occupied West Bank on Wednesday, with at least 9 people killed. The raids are believed to be the first time since a major Palestinian uprising from 2000 to 2005. Now that's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Rivers NLC have protested to the government house as its president, Joe Ajero, honors police invitation of a terrorism allegation. Agric expert in River State, Charles Okoro, has called for implementation of anti-open grazing law to curb herdsmen attacks on farmers. Ethiopian Airlines has identified politics as a reason for its failure to establish Nigeria national carrier. In other foreign scenes, the UN has called on Israel to stop military operation in West Bank. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyeli. Many thanks for listening.